No, Dean, we're in combat, my dude.
What?
Yeah. You
The rising ghost of Leget himself
right.
is coming to eat our souls.
Okay, where am I? Jesus.
You're there. You're up.
Yeah.
You're a little damp.
I'm damp.
I think your dog is now. Yep.
I burned his skeleton. What more? What more?
Yeah, we may have to go like old Haitian style and like drop somebody back down to break the bones on the skeleton.
I don't think that's going to do anything. I think
No, I think lighting it on fire, if that was going to do it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I honestly think just
holy water
out of, because I can't remember if Kevin, one of your characters, had raised this, so I'll at least comment out of character. I think your idea about the soup tureen head is as good a lead as we have as really as any.
Yeah, and I guess the key question is: are we gonna stand and deliver? Because we've got these two guys to protect.
That's right. There's two collapsed former servants of the manor there on the ground. Ictrude and Crespin are standing right there.
How about how about where's Allard?
He's right near he's facing the.
Well, I'm close to him. I'm like, Allard, let us run and get the head together. We are men of like skills. We can sneak.
Gabri says to Ictrude, save one and leave the other. Maintain the order.
Oh, you guys, this is getting too meta.
Hey,
Exactly.
shot on. We got a shot on Ictrude here as the specter of the headless lord rises from the basement. Crespin, spear out, right? Got the spear. Or no?
No, the spear was lost.
That's
Crispin
right, the
lost the
spear's
spear.
down below, right?
It was the price of Javert's life.
Thanks.
That's right. The spear's in the basement.
Yeah,
So
which
Ictrude,
you know, I'm willing to pay.
Yeah.
We could get a bowling ball. Give him a bowling ball to put on his
A little smile on it.
Yes. Just paint a little happy face.
And instead of backstabbing, sneak up behind him and just rest it gently on his spectral shoulders.
Jason, can you give us a recap on what this guy looks like?
tattered robes with the Allard recognized the kind of decorative embroidery on the robe, and the style of the robe is being only like the essentially the Lord's dressing gown. What's that little bottle? What's that?
The potion.
Poison? A little potion. No, and it looks from here like the neck is like sliced right across. Just popped out my earbud. Hazard of physical motion. It's like it's what's the thing? It's like a bisected ham. Right, you can see the layers. There's no blood. It's just like, and it's all spectral, right? So it's like you can kind of faintly see through it, but that's the impression that Ictrude has. Black bony hands kind of protruding from the raggedy sleeves, and the lower body is actually just like not even there. It's just like the kind of tatters of the robe hovering, floating below it. And when it comes up from below, it sort of passes, part of its body passes through the physical floor as it kind of rises into view.
And just remind us, when it had consumed those two other servants, it had become more solid, or something had happened to it, or it just stayed completely the same, and the servants withered. I can't remember if
I remember the servants withering.
If it changed at all.
It did not in any noticeable way.
All right.
Yeah,
because we had splashed some holy water on it, and of course
that's right.
Javert had Jaspar. Sorry, I'm thinking Javert for whatever reason. all in the French part of my brain. Jaspar had successfully lit the skeleton on fire, which I thought was pretty badass. And surprisingly ineffective. I thought that was pretty great.
Yes,
actually.
I was sure it would work.
Very great.
The other thing is to jump down to the cleaver.
Yeah.
Presumably cut off his head, But I
to
don't
be
know why
clear-
that cleaver would do anything to a specter.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Allard will will identify him as the Lord to his the companions. This is him. It's Leget. It's the spirit of Leget.
Excellent.
And we've all seen him what he does to the servants.
I don't know if was everybody looking down there.
I was down there.
Definitely
He was down there.
Jaspar,
Gabri was
Allard,
looking
and Gabri definitely also. Oh, and Crespin was right at the edge. So
Yeah, I feel like
Be
we've
careful.
all
He eats
witnessed-
souls.
great. Yeah, everybody's seen it. Yeah, he basically like put his hands on these poor souls and turned them into withered husks.
So I have a question. We know what Leger looked like from paintings.
Actually,
Maybe
I
we saw one.
I think the closest thing you have, so you did go through the Hall of Paintings. You guys did not necessarily, I guess Allard may have noticed there was no portrait of the Lord in that hallway. And also you may recall in the entry colonnade on this same floor, there were statues of all the previous lords of the manor.
Right.
And one of them was missing its head.
Okay.
Oh, a theme.
A definite
So-
theme.
So we don't know what Leger actually looked like. This particular lord.
Allard does, because there's an engraving of him in the book, in the famous book. Right? Allard has
Yeah.
that book of the true and whatever history of the family Leger. So there is an actual woodcut in there showing.
Okay. So the next question becomes, when we found the head upstairs,
Yeah.
did anybody recognize him?
It was a skull. You found a skull.
Yeah, it was a skull.
I thought
This
it
isn't
was
like CSI.
I thought it was a whole
France.
head.
We get CSI and a bunch of putty in about 3 weeks. We might.
Yeah.
I mean, once Allard
You got to
becomes
get the
a magic
Beatles
user-
to get rid of the flesh that's still clinging to it.
Yeah.
All right, Ictrude's going to do something.
Okay, go.
She's going to hand her shield to Crespin, sheath her sword, and pick up these two guys are unconscious, right?
Yeah.
Pick them up with her 16 strength, one under each arm, and head for the door
Oh my God.
to the north.
Firewoman's carry.
So she's
No, not even. That's just 2 angry children carry.
So Crespin's already got 1 shield.
Now he's got 2.
Now he's got 2. All right, and then you head.
It's like a very, very specific Dark Souls build. The 2 shield.
Yeah, I'll head for the door. I mean, it's a specter. What can you do?
Okay, so you're heading that way.
Yeah.
Crespin, you've been handed a 2nd shield.
Okay. It's going to be awkward to get at the holy water. So Crespin will back away and cover the retreat. Absolutely.
Okay. Allard is basically face to face with this specter.
It's a little terrifying.
I would say actually, what's Allard's wisdom?
Allard is remarkably wise. It's 12.
Okay. I'm gonna say, does anybody have a really low wisdom? Like below 10?
Our good friend Crespin.
Oh, but he's not afraid of this thing. Because he's
He's
a
probably
warrior.
not.
He's
too
in it.
engaged.
Yeah.
Ictrude's currently at 10.
Okay. Yeah, but Ictrude's not. Okay. I was just wondering if anybody would actually be subject to like terror at the sight of this thing, but I think thinking about everybody and what we know about them so far, I think everybody's good. Okay. Allard is facing.
Yeah, Allard is going to back the hell away because clearly we're making a retreat. Jason, a question. I don't think do we have any information about Allard's been looking at Leger himself pretty intently. We don't think he's tracking visually. Is that fair? Or is that something that can be known?
Oh, I see what you're saying. He does appear to be responding to the presence of people, but yeah, I would say that at least judging by, I mean, Jaspar was like a shadow, so who really knows? But it does not appear to be that that's correct, that it can see things.
Yeah, okay. Because Allard's carrying a torch, but certainly he wants to get out of the way as quickly and as silently as possible. But I'm thinking holding onto the torch is probably not well, I guess we'll find out. Igtrude and Crespin are moving out this door. Jaspar, you can't even see where I'm pointing.
There's a pinger.
There is a pinger. Let me see if I can find them.
You're gonna head for the east
teardrop.
door?
Yeah. Pinger. Oh wait, change my nickname. That's not what I want.
Going back here.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Dean. Jaspar. Jaspar has made the suggestion about going up and like two French industrious French peasants, like all industrious French peasants. We're just trying to get ahead.
Ha
Oh,
Oh,
you got to
Hey,
look
if that
at that.
doesn't kill.
Yeah.
So is Jaspar moving at all towards the door?
hell yeah, I am moving at top speed in
So-
order to help my good friend Igtrude by opening the door for her.
Gotcha. Allard is retreating as quickly and as silently as possible, backpedaling with his little silent boots.
Okay, so he's headed, and you guys are both headed for.
All out the one door. Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's headed for that door. There's gonna be a traffic jam at that door.
Well, I'm opening the door so Igtrude can get through.
Okay, so you're gonna book it around Igtrude,
Yeah.
get to the door to open it,
Yeah.
and Allard is falling back that way as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
What about Gabri?
Allard, stay here. Distract him.
Does Gabri need a shield?
I was gonna say, I mean, I'm heading in that direction, and the first person I'd encounter is Crespin. And if it looks like he's fumbling around with two shields, I think Gabri
You grab one.
would grab.
If Gabri would
Okay.
grab one, that gives Crespin the opportunity to try to get another slug of holy water in the censer.
Yeah, I think if you were fumbling with two of them, he would happily take one.
That would be very much appreciated.
By the way, my lantern's out. I don't know where the light's coming from.
Allard's got a torch.
Well, that's
Okay.
so that is your light source currently, is the torch. So you guys are, so there's a commotion as everybody's like making their way back towards that door. Trude's hauling those two bodies. Jaspar reaches the door. Crespin hands a shield off to Gabri, and the figure, arms outstretched, is kind of, it's not like beelining, but it's kind of like I would call it wandering kind of in the general direction of all of you. And Crespin and Gabri are the first ones there. So what do you guys do?
Does he float up and say, "I have 3 successive puzzles for you to solve. If you want to keep your lives, 3 is too many," we say.
He has to do it with sign language because he doesn't
Yeah.
have he cannot
Give him a
talk.
sedative.
Yeah.
A sedative.
So and we're basically backed up as far as we can, and he's right there
Find
with us.
the hidden message.
Oh man, that looks complex.
Is Jason, what you're saying is he's right on us?
So at this point, let's see, at the point where you guys have to decide what to do, Jaspar is at the door, getting it open. I mean, if Allard wants to be on the far side, you could have snuck by there to that corner as well. And it's the exchange of the shield, and that's where you guys find yourselves in the middle of the room when Lord Leget gets there. So you can turn and run, but you're the first contact essentially.
Yeah. I will say if that's the way it's sort of playing out, Allard is absolutely happy to look for an opportunity to get behind his lordship and get an opportunity to deliver his lordship a small but finely crafted present.
Oh my.
Okay, so Allard, instead of retreating towards that door, is going to slip along the fireplace behind?
Yeah, I think so.
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. He would do that. Because opportunity presents itself, and what is Allard but an opportunist?
Okay, I think that is a, even though this guy can't see, he appears to have some perception of the presence, but I think a move silently, as Jaspar has demonstrated, can
be
get you
effective.
over there. Yeah.
Okay, so that will be stealth is indeed the trick of the trade. And I have to spend cunning ahead of time?
Nope, cunning is the one thing you can spend after.
Oh, exciting. Okay. So this would be move silently, correct?
Besides luck, I should say. Luck you can also spend after.
Yeah, move.
This would be move silently, yep. When you sneak from one place to another, name a destination within sight. So you're just trying to get behind
elfin slippers?
I do, actually. In fact, I'm an elf wearing elfin slippers.
Oh,
just checking, because I was told you needed that to move silently.
Wait.
It's good somebody's keeping us honest.
I'm still bucking for my +1.
No,
they're just really nice, quiet slippers. They're quiet.
They're cozy.
Quiet,
they're comfy. Dark French night.
They're not clumsy leather boots.
All right, no pluses, I don't think. A large dex is not good enough for that. So we're rolling against dex with 2d6.
How much cunning do you have? Like four?
I got a bucket of cunning. I got like quite just rather a lot of cunning.
Cunning.
Jespar has 2. Yeah.
I think I've got 5 max, but 3 current.
Yeah. Because you're like level 3 + 2 intelligence, right?
Yes, because a large is smarty pants.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, excellent.
I am level 3 -1 intelligence.
Hard being a stupid thief.
Oh no, he's simple.
Simple. Sorry. Yes.
A simple and direct thief, a man of the country. All right, here we go. Survey says a 7, and that would mean I'd have to put it to a 10 to make it an absolute success.
Right. And if you see on a 7 and 9, you get to choose one of 3 things. They notice you before you get where you're going, but you could take +1 forward against them. So you wouldn't be able to backstab, but whatever you do next, you get +1 forward. You stop when you're only partway there, or else they'll notice you. So you wouldn't be able to get behind, but it wouldn't notice you. They notice you as soon as you reach your goal, and you take -1 forward.
Let's burn those 3 cunning.
Whoa.
And let's get there just in case.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if my present is going to be exactly what he wants, but it may not be a suitable gift. I mean, I guess this will be an important learning opportunity if Allard lives.
Could you have burned a luck in just a 2 of your cunning?
I could have burned a luck, yes, and just so the question is for backstab. Yeah, but you know what? I can burn a luck next time if I have to.
Okay.
And who knows?
I wasn't sure if you needed the cunning to do certain skills.
I don't think so, Jason. I don't need to burn a cunning to do a backstab, correct? Or am I wrong?
What's it saying? The
it just says when you use a hand weapon to attack a surprised or defenseless target.
Then you don't need it. You could spend it because it is a stealthy thing, but you don't. It's not required.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, I'll do that for the successful sneak.
Okay. So Lar gets back there. Crispin and Gabri, how are you guys reacting?
I think Gabri is just continuing to back away.
Okay.
I think if Crespin seems like he continues to need any help, Gabri will offer, but otherwise, Gabri has seen this creature.
Are we outpacing his lordship, or his lordship outpacing us?
You're able to sort of stay ahead of him. He's not, there's going to be, as Jespar is getting to the door and Trude's got these 2 bodies, that's where things are going to slow down. But right now you're able to sort of stay ahead of him without like having to run. You're moving quickly. Gabri has the shield, and what else? Has Gabri put the loot away?
So he has the loot still in one arm and the shield in the other.
Okay. So he's got that.
I think Crespon is going to have to try to buy some time for us to get through this door. Well, you may eventually have to pour one out for Crespon.
Uh-oh.
That's the spirit.
But the spirit, I love it. Yeah, if my profession didn't work out, like, one of the guides at the Haunted Mansion would be like my maybe dream job if I could look good in that kind of face paint. So Crespon's got shield and a hand free. He is going to uncork the jug of holy water, and he is going to pour one out at the spirit. and say, you know, I'm trying to come up with something clever in the moment. These are the tears of the lady for all that you have lost.
Wow. And you're by pouring out, so you're uncorking it, and you're just like splashing him with it. Is that what's happening?
I think so.
And how many?
Or you're
uses?
thinking, oh gosh, yeah, cordon sanitaire. Could I, you know? Oh.
No, I'm just trying to get a visual so I understand how many uses are in that jug.
How many uses are in that jug? Is a very good question, and I do know that the answer is at least written down. The jug has 4 uses of holy water left.
Remaining, okay.
Yeah, because we used it from the censer, and yeah, we got 4 left.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, describe to me what you think the jug looks like.
I think the jug is. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jason. French jugs for 300. I'm not.
I mean,
French drinking vessels like, for 300. 13th
what's it
century.
made out of? How big is it? Like, what are you picturing in your head?
Oh, I am picturing something like a growler, but not like one of the mega growlers. Like maybe a smaller growler, like
so
maybe the 32 ounces as opposed to the 64 ounces.
Okay.
Because I don't see a holy water dose being, you know, a stein. Oh, maybe it's a stein's worth.
Okay. And you're.
I see an 8-ounce tumbler as being essentially what a dose of holy water is.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
Yeah.
Love
so I think this is like a 40-ounce. It's a 40. Oh my God.
Pour one out.
It's
You're
a
pouring
40.
one on it. Are you and are you sort of casting it in a splashing arc? Are you just doing one kind of shake in the face? What's the move?
Oh, I think he's gotta spray it. I don't know that a blorp is going to necessarily. I think it would be, you know, a spray.
Okay.
These are the tears of the lady for all that you have lost.
And are you just trying to use one use or multiple uses?
I am trying to use one use, but I think I accept the consequence that I may not be able to control the spray.
Great. Okay.
Have we ever had carbonated holy water like in any game that I've ever been in? I want that now.
Now you want that? You got to.
This would be for a 1920s Call of Cthulhu thing where somebody gets the spritzer
the soda siphon. Oh my God.
Gets the seltzer charge for the holy water.
Yeah. You know,
I was
it's
just gonna
happening
say,
in some game somewhere.
We didn't know Donavier's one of her domains is Perrier.
Al Sante.
The original mineral water.
All right.
Be
So this is going
Crespin
to be
of the spring.
And this is Crespin. What's Crespin's dexterity?
Surprisingly 14. He gets a +1 to dex rolls.
Nice. Okay.
We are all not so suited for our day jobs in this game.
I know. That's okay.
All right. I'm gonna say that's gosh, that's interesting. I'm gonna let you could either shoot or throw with dex, or you could use I'm saying you could use wisdom to kind of like gauge the the way that you're kind of swinging the bottle. There's like an intuitive understanding.
Oh yeah, like a judgment kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm going to say so shoot or throw would be a dex, and then it'd be making a saving throw with wisdom to do it the other way.
Let's go for dex because I hate to remind the GM of my character's weaknesses, but Crespin is a dude with a 6 of wisdom.
Okay. Great.
Like he's got an even half dozen of wisdom.
Nice.
Wow. We are so. Like, we should just trade jobs, all of us.
Right. Crespin, the cleric, has a 6 wisdom.
Yeah.
He's got charisma, man. He's got charisma.
Yeah. And
or at least chutzpah, if not actual charisma.
Part of what, yeah, right.
Jaspar the thief has no intelligence and 16 wisdom.
But that's come in handy, that wisdom.
Well, yeah, and I love Jaspar as the chaos god's acolyte when the stars align.
Someday.
All right, 2d6 plus your dex modifier.
2d6 plus dex, which is +1. And as you recall, I burned all my favor saving 2 guys. Just as a FYI.
Now remember, you can always invoke. You don't need favor to invoke. You just can't, it won't give you that extra.
How do you get your favor back?
A cleric, you have to take the time out to pray. But a cleric can always invoke. There's always that desperate prayer to the god. It's just that you can't, you don't get to use.
This is my one moment before, this is Crespin's one moment before the evil lord. He's absolutely trying to use the favor of the lady and the holy water together to banish or stop or keep the Lord Leget, or what is remaining of him, from reclaiming these lost souls that Crespin is so invested in having saved, which, certainly hubris on his part, but how much hubris would be the question. I don't know, Jason. The hubris.
Are you thinking about invoking to like banish him essentially?
Well, I guess the thought is we're splashing the holy. I'm sorry, guys, we're taking so much time for this. I think the momentary thing is to splash the water and call out, upon the lady as a banishment kind of thing.
Yeah.
But is this, cue the soundtrack full on invoke, or is this the sort of the desperate maneuver while we're, trying to hold the bridge? And I feel this is more of a desperate maneuver to hold the bridge.
Okay. So just trying to douse him with holy water, but not calling directly upon, you're not directly invoking. Or is the invocation just to stop him, to turn undead, so to speak?
I think it is to stop him. I think,
okay.
I think I think it's a combined attack. He's using the holy water as the physical manifestation of the lady to aid him in stopping that, you shall not pass.
Okay, well, in that case,
and especially because the stakes are high for Crespin, because here are the two souls that they've saved. Ictrude is carrying these guys to safety. These guys who, this is something Crespin has wanted and has been very concerned about Jasper's safety, about these guys' safety. He's been super compassionate about these guys, and he'll put himself in front of the freight train if he has to stop this and buy these guys time. So yeah, I think this is probably an invoke, and whatever the holy water does is what the holy water does.
Okay, well, I think because you're doing that instead of shoot or throw, the holy water is going to grant you +1 to invoke.
Okay.
Plus you get your holy symbols, that's +2. And I'm going to say, if your goal is just to like drive him back, then that would be exert or deflect. So that's momentous. That's hubris 2.
Hubris 2. Okay, so +2 for the roll, -2 for whatever. It's just going to be a straight up roll, and we are going off of charisma, which, unlike wisdom, doesn't have a minus.
When you invoke, you don't use a stat.
Oh,
it's just hubris. It's just you and your god.
That's actually a little great. It kind of doesn't matter how charming you are.
Yeah, that's right. But charming matters when you're like praying and things like that. But
you're trying to cajole or whatever. But here is the direct manifestation. All right, well, let's see if the lady's favor is upon us. 2d6. Here we go. Hey, you know what? And I can only burn 1 luck.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. It's an 8.
It's an 8. Your request is granted with duration 1, but your deity demands proof of devotion. The judge chooses 1 from the list below. Exemplify. Before you can invoke again, you must forward your cause. Sacrifice. Before you can invoke again, you must destroy or donate something of the judge's choosing. Oof. Ooh, or suffer. Take 1d4 points of ability damage. I think it's going to be that last one. It's going to be.
We're going to suffer for our god.
Yep. So roll a d4, and you can apply that damage across your abilities as you see fit.
Okay. 2. Okay. Well, that's not as bad as it could have been. All right.
Okay, and Crespin says those words and casts the holy water, and it sprays across. So yeah, mark 1 use on that jug.
Yep.
And it hits the figure, and there are these little like bursts of steam or some kind of vapor comes off of its spectral form, and it actually throws up its arms to kind of deflect that, and falls back past Allard, not still oblivious to Allard's presence, but is like being driven back past the elf who's like lingering there in the dark, which would give Allard a chance to act if he so chooses.
Yeah. So we have Change of hand. We've got a hypothesis here. And the hypothesis is silver weapons work against undead creatures. And Allard has a silver dagger that he looted and has in his hand. So I think Allard's going to try to get a swipe in on the way if that can be done on the distracted creature.
Feel like
yeah. How so? Before you roll the backstab, how are you? What are you going for? Like you got this, so you the silver knife slips into your hand, and you see this figure, streaming vapor as it recoils from Crespin, and Allard's there, and this is Lord Leget. This is Lambert Leget. You've read about Lambert Leget, right? You've pored over his woodcut, like this is is Allard unmoved by that, or what's Allard feeling?
Allard was never meet your heroes. Allard is, to be honest, a smidge disappointed that this is how this great house and this great whatever has ended up, as just this thing hungry for whatever, and it's much less impressive than he had hoped, and he's pretty mad about it, and that anger is sort of driving his hand.
Ooh, okay.
Better to live with the memory than to deal with the reality.
I think so. Those great gardens ladies were so much nicer in their younger days.
That's right.
So this the figure is moving back sort of along the side of you. You've got the silver knife out, and then is it like a stick to the ribs? How are you trying to drive it home?
I don't think it's a moving target, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's opportunity perhaps to do a full right in the base of the spine kind of thing, but yeah, I think a stick to the ribs is absolutely sort of a large genre, because I don't think he's trying to commit to both hands from behind, because I think he'd be worried that the thing is going to stagger back into and through him, which would be disgusting.
So he makes sure to step out. He makes sure to be out of the way.
Yeah,
and then
so a surgical strike, if you will.
Okay, got
Go
it.
for the spleen.
Yeah, well, go for the spleen. All right, so let's see, and
Evan, let me save you the trouble.
Okay, thank you.
Waits for exactly the right moment. Crespin is watching, and you go, and your hand passes right through the figure, and you actually stumble because there's, as far as you can tell, nothing there. But it's like your hand is plunged into the iciest winter water that you can imagine, right? So your entire right arm is chilled to the bone, and it's just like you're striking air. The silver goes right through
it, and no purchase whatsoever.
Immaterial form, and then it passes a few more feet and then turns all of its attention on you, on Allard.
Great.
Meanwhile, at the door, Jaspar, you've got it open.
I got it open. In order to clear this area, I run through it as fast as I can. And I'm going to head for the stairs upstairs.
The big stairs. Okay, so you're headed that way.
Over
towards the grand
Get lost.
To these stairs, right?
Yeah.
Let's go upstairs.
Got it. Extrude. I don't know. I mean, if you're facing the door and maybe glancing over your shoulder, you probably are aware of the situation with Allard.
Yeah, it sounds bad, but my plan is to get these two through this door.
Okay.
And then I think the closest, I can get outside pretty quickly here, right? Out onto the
cloisters.
Yeah, over here.
Yeah, that's open air. Yep.
Yeah, so I'm gonna dash with these two as fast as I can to get them out, throw them down onto the earth, off of the
into the courtyard
building. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll turn around and dash back.
Okay, so you managed to drag him that far, Gabri.
Gabri is just going to continue his. He's going to pause over here by the fireplace.
Watch see what happens. Tough. And what do you have against the Spectre? Get a song.
My throat is so it's so parched at this point. I feel like I have no art, no inspiration to draw on.
Jeez.
And Crespin.
Crespin will be backing away as expeditiously as possible to cover the retreat.
Okay, so
with an anguished look at Allard.
Okay, but heading for the door. And Gabri is in the corner there, and Allard is facing Lord Leget. Lard, your move.
Run like hell.
Because there is a moment where you, yeah, go.
With if there's anything Allard can say, and I'm not quite sure what the witty thing would be about making some connection to the history of this place, or something witty that relates to the history of Lord Leget or the mansion, some quip of some sort that he's probably witty enough to say, but I'm personally in this moment not.
Yeah.
And then, feats don't fail me now, but in French.
Is it like under his breath so only the audience hears, or is it directed at Lord Leget?
Yeah. It's probably under his breath.
Okay. So there's that frozen moment where you're facing each other, and then you say that and turn to book it. And as you're turning, you see, all of his attention is on you, and he like lunges right at you. So you do have to roll to escape his grasp.
Outstanding. All right.
And that will be, yes, dexterity.
That would be dexterity. Well, it's a good thing Allard doesn't have much. All right, we got a dex of 10, so no modifiers. 2d6, all cunning burn. If you come at the Lord, you best not miss. I mean, I think I've been told that.
It was a good effort. It was a good effort. You were in position. Let's
do it. All right, a 7, a mixed success.
Okay, so you do elude.
And I am willing to throw my torch away just in case I have to throw that. If the torch zigs and I zag, I think Allard is totally willing to do that.
Huh. Okay, well then I'll give you that choice. You can either take, you can suffer the touch of Lord Leget, who knows what effect that has, or you can sort of swing that torch behind you to kind of fend him off for a moment, and then maybe like in a panic, hurl it at him and avoid suffering the touch of Lord Leget.
Several hundred years later, the French would harness this technology for the Exocet missile series, but in the meantime, we're sending the heat source that way, like flares, and running.
Okay, great. So you do that, and you zip right by Gabri. Crespin's out in the room,
possibly with a little cloud of dust behind me.
So the room is now dark. The torch has been flung. Actually, the direction you flew it, actually goes down into the basement. So Gabri, there's a moment where there's just the orange glow kind of is flickering through the room, and then it all goes black. And from your perspective, is that the faint orange light is coming up from the basement. The silhouette, the translucent silhouette of the figure is moving in your direction.
So Jason, mechanically speaking, I have no art.
Yes.
So I can sing all my little heart and lungs desire, but there's no tangible effect that I can wring from that.
There's fictional effects, but there's no mechanical effect, right? So you could draw attention to yourself. Yeah. It all depends on how the Lord might respond to whatever music you.
And there's a log jam here, so Gabri is not getting through here right now, right?
I think Allard just zipped by you, yeah. But I mean, he's moving pretty fast. So if you wanted to. And I'm going to say you can tell by the way the thing's moving that it's pursuing Allard specifically. So there is a chance that if you just kind of backed up in a corner, he might not notice you, but you're not entirely sure. You'd have to make a roll to have that happen.
Okay. I think good Lord, Gabri is going to is going to. Okay, good. I was just seeing it update here. Gabri is still going to take a step toward the door, in so much as he can, and he is going to. He's going to drop the shield.
Okay.
That's encumbering him, and he's going to look at the specter, and he's going to, he hasn't had time to rest, he hasn't had time to tune, but he's going to sort of mournfully sing with all he has left to muster. Leget, Leget, you never went away. We had mourned your noble sword, but here you made your grave. Remember well your purpose true. We small folk thought so well of you, but here you stand a lesser man, a poor shade. Who are you?
And what would be your goal in singing this song? Just pure artistic expression.
Remind this specter, remind this figure of who he is.
Oh, okay. Wow.
You need a point.
Here's the deal. Now, normally you would roll charisma, right?
I mean, I suppose, right?
Isn't that what? What's the? What does it say for rolling a performance?
Yes, charisma.
Charisma. Yeah. So in this case, because you are trying to communicate to an entity not really on the physical plane, and in fact it does not appear to have ears. You're gonna have to roll.
I think Jason, this is something that transcends
absolutely
material science.
That's why you need to roll. That's why you need to roll wisdom. Yeah,
wisdom. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Gabri, I think in this moment is terrified and is doing what he can to appeal to this thing and
to remind.
He knows there's some
him.
connection. Remind him. So I'll put dice in the tray and then give him a roll. Ooh, not good. It's a 4.
Ooh.
So you get to mark.
We hardly knew ye.
Mark wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
He'll now really become the Phantom of the Opera.
Okay. There is a moment where, like, you strike up you strike the lyre or whatever it is that instrument you're holding, and you say those first words, Leget. You say his name, and as he's like, skeletal hands extended, like racing after Allard, he kind of like catches up and pauses and kind of hovers in the air with the tatters kind of drifting around as you and sing this plaintive song appealing to his whatever shred of connection to the material plane might still exist in this creature, and then reaches forward and puts his hands into your face.
Yep, like you do.
And you take 1d6 points of strength damage.
Then 5.
Oh, what does that knock your strength down to?
6.
And then also 1d6 of dexterity damage as well.
Well, that's a full 6, so that'll bring that to a 3.
Stop rolling like that.
What happens if you get to 0?
In the case of dexterity, you're essentially paralyzed, and in the case of strength, you're sapped of all. You're dead.
But not there yet.
Not there yet. Yeah, so that's just like, a chill beyond, like, so cold that it's hot, like passes through your whole head and then down into your body. You can feel your spine and all the nerve endings kind of connect. There's like a moment of shock where, like, your mortality. And elves live a long time, but like,
right.
You feel that. And Lard's facing the other way, running, and Crespin is the closest person to view this scene, I think, from behind. You see Gabri at the hands of Lord Leget there.
Is Gabri moving?
Well, Bob, why don't you tell us how Gabri responds to this?
It sounded like, Kevin, it sounded like you said to me, like you said, is Gabri pooping?
Yes.
I was like, I mean, probably, right? Those nerve endings.
It's a cold poop, though.
So yeah, how is Gabri reacting here? I think he was trying to put the finishing touches on some of the humming, the strumming afterwards, and there was this terrible, very unharmonious sound coming from his throat as these hands plunge into his head and begin to sap his strength. And he's sort of a rictus. His spine is.
He's what?
Thrown back. His body goes rigid.
Oh, okay.
His entire body.
And set and move. Okay. Allard's booked away. Crespin's there. Then Gabri is outside the door, just in the doorway. Things right there. And also, I think that you're also super aware. Everybody, as you guys move through that chamber, I don't know if you remember, there was like the smell of like rotting meat, like in this room when you guys passed through it originally. So that's also this horrible kind of sensory aspect. And there's so the only light is the gray light coming in from the cloisters. And Crespin, you hear that horrible sound come out of Gabri.
Friends, it has gotten Gabri.
Well, I will drop the bodies and turn around and start running back.
Okay. Jaspar, you're still booking up the stairs?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to save the day with a head.
And Allard, was Allard still running for his life?
Yeah, I guess the question is, which way would Allard run? I don't think he could see Jasper, because that would have been the good idea.
That's right.
So I think he would have run towards the biggest person he could see, which would have been Ictrude, and he would be running out in that way. Allard was absolutely convinced that the silver was going to work. Like, force equals mass times acceleration. Silver, always in the folk stories, is what you use to banish the ghosts and the goblins and the bad things. And the fact that it didn't work and it also hurt like a SOB, and then he almost got himself eaten. He's freaked. Totally, the scientific detachment is gone and he is just a howler monkey. So he is absolutely sprinting, unfortunately, to get to the other side of Ictrude. Maybe not his finest moment.
And Ictrude is turning to come back. Ictrude's like, dump the bodies, is coming back up the stairs. Crespin's there, and we're back to Gabri. Gabri, you still have some semblance of sense, some consciousness about you.
I do. I know. Remarkably, Gabri, he's not exceptional in many ways, but he's not a frail one. So I would think he's trying to get away as much as he can. Sufficiently humbled. And if Ictrude is that direction, he's going to move toward her.
Okay. So
does the turn, Jason? And I'm not sure. This is kind of a mechanics question, and I'm not sure how it interacts with the fiction. In some systems, when you're turning undead, you pull, like it radiates out from the person or the zone. And I noticed that the Lord Leget has moved in one direction and is now reversed course and heading back to us. So I guess Crespin is curious about whether Lord Leget is still just on the make, and was it a delay? Was it an actual turn? Is that something he can even know?
Yeah, I think what Crespin's sense is that so it was with duration 1, you may recall, and I have not marked that duration yet. And I think that Crespin himself is a kind of repulsor.
Gotcha.
Because you are sort of, shining with the energy of the lady right now.
Gotcha. In that case, Crespin will hold the pendant of the lady out and speak the whatever prayer of the lady he knows over and over again, the way somebody might do the Lord's Prayer in a different theological setting, and advance towards Gabri and Lord Leget's specter in hopes that at some point it can keep the specter away from Gabri.
Okay, so you take like 2 steps toward the doorway. Gabri is pulling away, and with the pendant outstretched, Lord Leget does that thing like, you know, where like in a movie where somebody's like on a some kind of trolley that you can't see, where they kind of glide backwards, right, into darkness. So you take a step forward, and that room is pitch black, and he just goes and disappears into the darkness. And Gabri staggers out into the anteroom there.
That's a good thing.
And Ictrude has arrived on the scene. With
Ictrude will gather up Gabri, just like take one look at him, see that he's probably on death's door here with a strength of 3. Is that where you were at?
Yep. Yeah. A dexterity of 3, a strength of 6.
Yeah, so you can't look good.
No.
So dexterity of 3 is considered palsied. And a strength of 6 is that what you say? A strength of 6?
Yes.
That's considered weak. So you still have, you know, you can still move, but yeah, you're
right.
Like,
I'm twitching and hunched over.
All right. Well, I'll help Gabri get down the stairs and get out to where I dropped the 2 bodies.
Crespan will mention sotto voce that your shield's on the floor over there by the door, Ictrude.
I was in the room.
I think at the doorway.
Okay, I'll come back for that.
And could you just tell me, like, describe to me how you take hold of Gabri, Ictrude?
Well, if Gabri is weak but not like totally out of it, I'll just like put my arm around him and kind of like, you know, walk him up.
So one arm around him, around the back, and then how are you holding him with the other hand?
The other hand, actually, the other hand will have verite. I'll draw verite and kind of brandish that.
Oh, okay.
And walk him up.
So Gabri, when Ictrude arrives, and you know, you're exactly like you described. You're kind of like shaking and stumbling back from the doorway, and Ictrude puts her arm around you, and you feel warmth flood back into your body.
Oh.
So roll a d4. Roll a d4.
That's fair.
Somebody mute Dean.
All right.
I think this is a very sweet moment.
You said a D4 or a D6?
I'm upstairs. I don't know any of this.
Roll a D4.
A D4. 2.
Okay, and then again.
3.
You regain 2 strength and 3 dexterity.
All right.
That's good.
But you lose your heart forever. This beautiful French woman who has come out of darkness to save you.
That's right.
Brandishing her sword. Yeah.
It was always you.
Oh.
All right. Ictrude's gonna go back out to the courtyard with him. I gotta step away just for a minute. I'll be right back.
Okay. So headed towards the courtyard.
Meanwhile, on the second floor.
Yeah. Jaspar, you're trying to, now your goal is to race to that winter dining room and then return with the skeleton.
The skull. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just have one roll to get there and back to see if anything untoward happens on the way.
Okay.
And that will be a set out roll, which is you don't actually use an ability.
Okay.
Or I guess you could use, if you're just trying to do it really super fast, it would be like a saving throw with dexterity to avoid anything happening. And you've got a high dex, right? So maybe that's the way.
I got a 10 dex.
Well, that's right. It's the high wisdom. What you got?
Oh, it's great how nobody's suited for their day job in this. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so that'll be, let's make a saving throw with dex to do that quickly and without drawing attention to yourself.
Okay, so that I'm gonna put him in the tray. I'm gonna use Albert. Gonna put him on the tray first and then roll.
That's right. You gotta put him on the tray and then roll.
Okay. I could have used that one. Oh well. A 9. Can I pop a cunning to make that a 10?
What's your area of expertise?
Stealth?
Yeah, yep, totally. Great. So everybody's gathered on the cloisters. So there's that afternoon, gray afternoon light kind of, I guess Crestbound's probably got an eye on the doorway there. And Jaspar
my pencil. I'll be right
returns with the skull.
back. Hold on.
Hey, Jason, I have a rules question.
Yeah.
If this is a good time. If someone is out of their juice, do you know what I mean? Out of their the fuel for their character, so at like cunning or art or whatever, and it's 0. Would it make sense for them to be able to burn an ability stat, like strength or constitution or something like that, to represent the last dregs of clinging on, that they can then get like 1 art in exchange for 1 constitution or 1 intelligence or something like that?
I thought about that and I tried it out for a little while, and the thing is that because ability scores are pretty substantial, it becomes a kind of well of that you can keep drawing from. Do you know what I mean?
Right. So it's not, so if your intelligence is 15, you can burn like 5 or 6 without really putting yourself in any kind of trouble, and suddenly your cunning goes from 2 to like whatever.
Yeah. So the idea is that you're obviously you have a limited amount, and then each class has a different way of regaining it, and you have to look for an opportunity for how you can. My favorite so far being was Jaspar in the basement in the dark decided to brood and do what was it? Consider his next move in silence.
Another fine mess.
Yeah. In your case, in Crispin's case, you gotta actually pray.
Right.
So that's a little more, and you gotta just get a roll involved with that. So for a cleric, it's a little more difficult. But for the thieves, it's relatively easy. Fighters just have to like get a breather. And I think in Bob's case, in the Bard's case, you just have to like practice
a quiet moment to tune and hum.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So it's really about looking for those breaks in between the action, and then during the action, figuring out when to spend those resources.
Gotcha.
So I got the skull and I went back to the porch.
You've arrived back with the skull.
Okay. Can someone give me a match or a flint? My flint's shattered down in that basement. So I can light my lantern.
Who has oil? You still have oil left?
Yeah, I have another bottle with 2 uses.
Okay,
and
great.
There are
Excellent.
5 uses of oil in the lantern. Assume let's call it 4.
Okay, sure.
Because something would have spilled.
Okay, so you got this skull. You're in this hall of vandalized statues.
Yeah, but can anybody got a light? No?
Nobody has a flint and steel?
Nobody has a light. How did you light the torch?
Well, I don't have a flint and steel written down on Allard's character sheet, but I would imagine. But
I didn't have one on mine either, but it got destroyed, so I assume I had one. I kept lighting my lantern previously.
It actually is an inventory item, so
Oh.
we can assume that both of you guys had them for sure. Yeah, especially the torch bearers would have had some for sure.
All right, so let me write that down.
Okay.
Flint.
I still have steel.
Yeah, let's light Jasper's lantern, and Allard, does he have much weight? He's a little in his toe. I think Allard is gonna this thing was really cold, so more light and torches feels like comforting. So Allard's gonna light, he's got 2 torches left. He's gonna light one of the remaining torches also.
Yeah, so how's Allard and Jaspar feeling about poor Gabri, who looks quite stricken? It's Jaspar's like, yeah. Oh, look what happened to you while I was gone.
Allard has got questions. Did you experience any visions or thoughts or references to the old mansion? Do you get any sense of the thing? Was it calling out to you? Was there any need? Did it feel like it? Oh, it did reach for your head, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. A chattering teeth, Gabri says, "It is a thing of utter darkness and cold. It draws in the warmth. It eats life."
Oh, he fell asleep again.
So the skull, where do you put the skull? Where does
Oh,
Gaspar put the
sorry.
skull?
I've
Just describe to me what happens with the skull. That's all.
so lantern,
Yeah.
Light source is secured.
Yappy dog.
dog leash,
Yeah.
skull.
Okay.
Oh, you're going full Yorick?
He's going.
So I don't have to offer it the skull. Anybody else want the skull?
Ooh,
Allard wants the skull. Oh my God, does Allard want the skull?
Take the skull. I got the light.
Absolutely. So Allard is looking carefully at the skull.
But remember, it was me that brought it at great
no,
personal risk.
Hey, Jasper, I think you are a thief in the dark. You managed this haunted mansion and returned exactly with what you set out for. Truly, your foraging skills are beyond compare.
Tell the world.
Absolutely. Well,
You too, Gabri. You could have had a piece of that story. You said no. Now look where you are. Look what this has gotten you.
Oh, he
Would have been there to save you, if at some personal risk.
You get such a glare,
Oh.
such a terrible glare.
Oh.
one half-lidded eye, like
Half-lidded eye.
Judith with the head of Holofernes.
A quivering lip that just you can tell if he had more strength, it'd be quite
Is
a
it fair
poetical
to say
rejoinder.
that Gabri was emo before there was emo,
Yeah,
historically speaking.
exactly.
In the background, Crespin is actually joined hands with the two stricken guys and is praying to the lady for salvation, grace, and just kind of praying with them for their health and recovery. So he's going to do a pray in the background.
Okay.
But in the meantime, Allard wants to know a couple things. Allard knows what Lord Leget looks like, and is it plausible that this could be Lord Leget's skull, the cheekbones, kind of the way one would think? Obviously, the nose, who knows? But and then can we see? Like, I assume, is it just the upper? Is it the actual skull and no mandible? Or
It's the whole skull. When you found the skull originally, there was a gold coin in its teeth, and I believe Jaspar took that coin.
Yes.
So it is a complete skull.
It's a complete skull.
You're trying to assess it based on your knowledge, whether
Of Lord Leget, yeah. Is it plausible that
phrenology?
kind of. And then also, are there any marks on it? Like clearly where, there's a hole where the occiput is, or is it, essentially clean? So two questions. One, could this be Lord Leget? Number two, is there any way to tell how this particular person met their demise?
Yeah, so find answers with intelligence.
All right.
CSI Leger.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well,
I'll buy it.
all right. So intelligence. Jason, it's +2 for just Allard's intelligence, but this is also kind of like, oh my God, is it his thing? So I think I used up all the book. Oh well, I'll take the +2.
You used up the book. All right, the book's yeah. You used up the book.
I used up the book. Wow.
It is his thing, but yep. This is like, come on, you're trying to see if this skull belongs to Lord Leget.
I mean, is it plausible? Do you know what I mean? But okay, let's try.
Yeah, go.
All right, here we go. No loading in the trace. All right, so I can tell you what he had for breakfast 3 days before, the contents of the grain content of his bread, and whether what his cholesterol was, because that's an 11 + 2 is 13.
Oh my God, yeah. So you can ask. You get your answer and you can ask follow-up questions. That's how that works, within reason. But I can tell you right off the bat, as soon as you get this into the light and are able to look at it better, you can see that, well, first of all, it's a little banged up. There's definitely some scuff marks. No, there we go. Thank you, Dave. Yes, excellent. That's what it, resembles. It's yellow, more yellowed and damaged than that particular specimen. It is clearly the skull of a female.
Oh.
And from the broad forehead, in fact, because you know something about the bloodlines of the various noble families of this region, from the broad forehead, you are going to you're going to speculate that it must belong to the Saville family, who were occasional house guests of the Legets. You're not sure which member of the family, which lady Seville this might have been.
Looks cool.
That is crazy. Yeah, so he's definitely, without question, not the skull of the Lord. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, sorry, Jason, I cut you off. I apologize.
I think this quiet moment of respite on the cloisters might be an opportunity to level up.
Oh.
If everybody's going to reflect for a moment on their mortality and...
Yeah,
our memento mori. I'll be right back.
Okay. So
Walk
to do
us
that,
through.
I will take you through the steps. What is this, level 4?
Yep.
All right. On the front of your playbook, increase your level by 1.
Woo-hoo.
Regain burned luck equal to your new level. If your new level is even, which it is, you get to choose a new advanced move for your playbook. This is the point where I will point out to Allard that you could begin multiclassing as a magic user if you so chose.
Gosh, do I eat the peach? Do I dare disturb the universe? And the answer is, oh gosh, yes.
I'd be so sad if you didn't. You had to do it.
Yeah, well, because clearly, CSI academia is not helping us against this specter at all. This is the lady of the House Seville. That is, how did she get there? I am indeed reflecting on my mortality.
So in your little level area, you write 4/1 because you're a 4th level thief and a 1st level magic user.
Okay.
And that means you get all the basic moves of a magic user.
So the asthma, the myopia,
Oh, well, that stuff is
bullied as a child in my history. All right.
And Kevin, did you get your luck back? You get luck equal to your new level back. So you get
wow.
4 points of luck back, and
that's exciting.
And the advanced move that you choose is multi-class. So that's the you get all that wizard stuff.
All that wizard stuff.
Now you don't know any spells yet. You can do, there's opportunity here, and now that you're sort of interested in the sorceress arts, like that presents opportunities, but I can't remember in the library if you found anything.
Yeah, we had the Tabulous
Tabulous Margadina, yeah.
Margadina. Oh, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
Tabulous Margadina.
You haven't had time to read that yet.
No. It holds the secrets to unravel and will unravel enchantments.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Hit points or any other abilities change?
Unfortunately, at an even level, you don't get any hit points.
Okay.
Do we get more cunning?
Yes. Well, your cunning goes up by your max cunning goes up by 1. And your max and current both increase by 1.
Okay.
Crespon is trying to pray.
Great. Love it. Okay, so
charisma.
I'm gonna brood and think about my next move.
excellent.
All
And we got here. Let me look at that. I'm just gonna go over the pray moves so everybody understands what's happening. When you take the necessary time to commune with your deity, roll wisdom or charisma, taking +1 if you bear your holy symbol, +1 if you occupy a place sacred to your faith. Do you want to go over to the chapel? Do you want to duck
Yeah,
into the chapel?
that would be great if we have the time.
Yep. We don't have to. We'll just. We don't have to like move the figures and stuff
Yeah.
like that. You can just duck.
But
in.
yeah, if that's a free move, absolutely.
Totes.
So +1 for teardrop, holy symbol, +1 for sacred ground.
Plus your charisma modifier.
Oh, come on, Jason.
What is that?
It's his charisma is actually a 9. So there's no 0, there's no minus to it. So, all right, so +2, and we got an 8.
Okay, gain favor equal to your current level.
Okay. Oh, right.
I need to fail more intelligence checks.
That's right. Put yourself out there, man.
All right.
Like Trude, what'd you pick?
I can't decide if I want to master my weapon, master my shield, or master wearing armor. And there are some really neat other items, like other moves she could take, but they're not quite her. She could do Myrmidon, where someone else orders her to do violence, and she can burn a wisdom to take +1 ongoing for that. But that's not exactly her.
Yeah, following other people's orders? No way.
Right. She could be a leader. When you bark commands in the heat of battle, roll plus charisma on a 10+. Allies take +1 ongoing to act on those orders. That's kind of cool, but she's not charismatic. Her charisma is only a 7.
Yeah,
that's not quite her either. And so the ones that really speak to me are her just becoming a better fighter.
Yeah.
And the first one she took was deflect blows, which is definitely a defensive move. So I think I'm gonna master verite.
Ooh,
I'll do master
nice.
weapon.
Yeah.
So now she can get a +2 to that roll, which is, if we do end up fighting a bunch of mooks, you will be good.
Yeah. Great.
To my knowledge, verite is not a magic weapon, correct?
That's right. There's been it's just very well made as far as you can tell. And Gabri, what'd you do?
So Gabri has done a lot of motivating so far with these songs of his. He realizes that if he played backup to this group, they could have that sort of motivation on an ongoing basis. So backup allows me to continue to play a piece from my repertoire with a motivating effect, and the friendly listener or listeners take a +1 to every roll they make as long as I continue to play.
Yeah, that's great.
And in addition, I can spend art on their behalf as a class resource for them.
Ooh, so you could spend it as like a medal for me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic too.
Awesome. What about Jaspar? What did Jaspar do?
Well, the more I think about it, the more I think if I'm fighting, I'm dying. So I'm also thinking that when I was down in the hole, if I could have just climbed out myself, that would have been a good thing. So I have taken scale sheer surface.
Oh, wow.
So that I can get the fuck out of there and be a spider on the wall.
Nice.
And
like the dog would just like hang on your back.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm now thinking of changing the rope. Can I do a little project with the rope?
Yeah, sure. What's the extent of it?
Instead of just around his neck,
yeah,
a harness.
Okay. Yep.
So that if I have to pull him, I'm not killing him. Like if we are dangling from, say, a spear, I can just leave him dangling from my wrist.
And he's just
suspended
just
there,
like a baby and
yeah. When will Boris get a level?
When he grows up and does something, he's just
okay. Someday he should attack something, but
yeah.
a puppy versus
young,
a specter seems Godzilla versus Bambi. So
I think maybe there's a moment where you're brooding, right? You're brooding, you're like running over in your head, like what's happening? Like I could get out of that basement. I can climb that wall.
Yeah.
And as you're doing that, you're untying
I'm
the
staring
rope
at
and
Boris.
You're reconfiguring it into a harness. You're kind of doing both things at the same time there.
Yeah.
As you're going over that.
So that when I'm a fly on the wall, he can be a dangling bundle of teeth and fur, ready to be swung into action. He'll be like a living flail.
The Mandalorian would kind of do that with Baby Yoda. So I totally get this.
Yeah, totally. And Crespam, what move is Crespam going to take? You know, Kevin?
Yeah, separate question. Do we have the, I was looking in the rule folders for the wizard sheet and I didn't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a wizard character sheet?
There is. It's called Magic User. Let me just link you directly to it.
Okay, because I was looking in the various freebooters on the Frontier books and I wasn't seeing it.
That link should go right to the PDF.
Right to that. Oh, perfect. Yes, it does. All right, magic spell study spellbook inscribed cast spell. All right. Nice. Not a lot of hit points on those guys.
When you
interesting. The spell casting is like the invoke. Oh wow, Jason, this is neat.
It's very freeform based on the name of the spell. So
yeah,
within the bounds of the. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please. I saw somewhere a list of like 3 sets of adjectives or something like that you use to create the spell names.
Yeah, there's many different there's like tens of thousands of different spell names that can be generated. But in your case, since you don't start with them, you're gonna find spells.
Yeah.
And that's how LR will learn magic, is by finding spells.
Finding spells. Outstanding. All right. So it's a theoretical potential rather than an actual, but I am cool with that. Chris Baum. On the one hand, I feel like Avatar might be something he might do, but I feel like his old school thing was town crier. And he was, summoning people to the town stuff, summoning them, whatever. And so I'm really thinking Inspire is probably where Crespon will find his natural place in the service of the lady at this point.
Damn, between that and Gabri's backup, got the makings of a band.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Because Inspire says, when you stand fast before a clear threat in the name of your deity, roll against charisma. On a 10+, all allies who bear witness take +1 ongoing. On a 7 to 9, they take +1 forward. And I think the difference is +1 forward means your next roll is +1, and +1 ongoing means the next, like however many until the duration wears off.
As long as you're facing that threat.
Yep.
So there's not even a duration on that. It's just like as long as that threat is there.
Oh, as long as that threat is there.
Is present.
Gotcha. Yeah. So yeah, I think that feels, I don't think he's got prophecy in him, and I don't think he's going to be permanently changing the world, at least at this point. Yeah. So Inspire.
Okay. Great. Awesome.
So even though this isn't his skull,
yeah,
let's give it to him anyway.
That's just for his conclusion after brooding in silence for after 10 minutes. He's like, let's just give him this skull.
Yeah. Well, how will he know? Do you know what your skull feels like? I don't.
Lady Seville. Yeah. Oh, I got a follow-up question, right? How long has she been gone, and what did her in? Or
what did her in?
Now, obviously, if it was a
the beheading, maybe.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna say
if there's an obvious hole in Milady's skull.
Yeah, there's not. Okay. The skull has marks on it as if after it had been already.
Uncle herniation, not a good time.
You got one too? Oh man.
Oh my God, yeah.
All the
He's a
skulls.
doctor.
This one's Morty.
I got like a badger skull around here somewhere.
Do your eyes do that? Oh.
Nobody. Let's see if I can.
There's a little.
Yeah, I put away my skull on November 2nd.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's up in the attic.
Mine's downstairs.
Yeah, no. To believe it or not, they want you to memorize the names of all like the little sutures on the skull. So this was like a study aid.
Oh my God! Wow.
See, he lives inside my Batman cowl to give it shape.
That's the best.
He has a job.
Yeah.
She died within the past year. Allard can tell that, and gosh, I don't think from what he has there he can tell the actual means of how she was deceased. But the mere fact that her skull is above ground and not buried in some,
Obviously shenanigans. Yeah, no.
yeah.
That for CSI Leget, that feels like a lot of information. And maybe saves us friends from attempting to offer Lord Leget somebody else's head. Though Jaspar has it's an interesting idea. Does he just need a head? Like, is this a headless horseman sort of situation where I'm not really needing my original, I just need a head? Will that help us lay it to rest?
That sounds a little bit like Jaspar, Allard and Jaspar are keeping company.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Dean, I absolutely.
I purchased Chronicles of Crime 1400.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I love you.
Still in the shrink wrap, waiting to play this one.
So that like lets you be like Brother Cadfael?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's right.
You are Abelard Lavelle, a knight living in Paris. Since you were a child, strange prophetic dreams of past and future crimes have haunted you. You managed to put your power to good use, solving mysteries that nobody else could. Now, thanks to your growing reputation, the people of Paris seek your help. Will you come to their aid?
No, leave it in the shrink wrap.
Answer is no.
Someday.
Jason, I apologize. The prayer roll, that was a mixed success, right?
Yes, and you get your what did I tell you?
Favor equal to your current level.
There you go.
Which is a 7 to 9. Perfect. Okay. And how are our guys doing? Our two little saved guys, have they regained consciousness? Are they still out of it?
They're out of it.
I like the look of that.
Yep, they're unconscious. Just like, do you remember when you rescued the other guy? He was basically completely unconscious.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a pulse. Some color is returning to them.
Man, I wish we could launch the bat signal and get, just an evac party from the village to take these guys out so we don't have to babysit them.
Take the time, yeah.
Oh, next time we're in town, we should buy some fireworks.
Yes, we should.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going to roll to keep company, Dean?
Sure.
So, Allard, why don't you roll? Do you guys have any bonds yet?
No.
I have
Nobody
actually,
wants to
Allard
bond with
has
me.
a bond with Jasper.
Okay, you get +1 to the roll.
Oh, do we? I don't have
It's
a bond.
it's a one-way. It's a one-way thing.
Oh,
so
he
like-
looks up to me.
I admire your native cunning with absolutely no book learning at all and no kind of advanced intellectual framework. You are still able to get things done. And it's
So what did you learn from this last encounter? If you are fighting, you are dying.
well,
Never fight.
I was convinced silver was going to work.
You're saying that
It was distracted. It was falling back. I thought we could use it to disrupt, and it nearly froze my arm off. And
Think
I didn't get
this.
half of
You
what
could have
happened.
thrown that dagger and gotten the same effect with no coldness. From a safe distance away, throw.
Yeah, we had those silver arrow tips that we haven't done anything with.
Yeah, I got them in the bag. I plan to melt them down later and use them for coinage.
So,
what about that coin that was in the skull? Can we have a look at that?
Sure, I pull out the gold coin that was in the skull, but I claim it or equal value.
It's to be sure yours. Anything
equal
unusual about it? Nod on? Is this the pay to the afterlife?
Nothing. It's a coin of the realm. Gold is very rare in this region, but Allard would have seen, these in the capital.
Yeah.
sure.
Okay. So nothing special and
Nothing
nothing's been
unusual.
scraped in or scratched into it, and it's not like their teeth marks or anything.
No.
Okay. I return it graciously to Jespar, who has been kind enough to let me inspect it. And
What
I'm
did you-
marking down that I have 2 bonds to Jespar.
What did you roll?
I rolled an 8.
Oh, okay, great.
+1 is enough.
9, choose one. Yep. Okay, great. And so you chose to take another bond. You did not give him a bond with you, right?
Oh, could I give him a bond with me?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
hey,
means
are
that
you
allows
does
him
that
to
mean
help
that
you.
your harsh peasant heart has have a little bit of respect for the elf?
Every hero needs a sidekick.
And I
So-
think if you ask both of us, each of us thinks the other one is the sidekick.
Yeah. So Jespar, write down Allard's name and draw a little circle next to it, and that's your bond. What's happening with Gabri and Ictrude there in the?
My lady, I tried to reach the Lord Leget, but he could not hear me across the veil of death.
Well, you did your best.
Is Ictrude still kind of holding Gabri, or has she kind of set him down and stepped back?
She set him down and stepped back.
Okay, Gabri, your strength and dexterity return to those lower values.
Oh,
God.
Oh,
Yeah, there's like a shudder and as you release him.
Well, that's a shame.
I suppose then he either collapses on the floor or up against the wall. If there's
like a picturesque column right there that you stand, right?
Yes, a picture of Byron in his youth. Yeah.
Yeah. You're
I
like,
see a distinctive love song in our future. You are my strength. You are my dexterity.
That's right. Well, Gabri continues. I feel as if I have been put on death's door myself, my lady. But I will do what I can to catalog your many triumphs and to be sure that I lend my voice to your sword.
You look as if you have the Ren. What do I say?
Red Noir.
Yes, that.
Well, hopefully not a frog in my throat.
Every
A
bard's
little bit
worst
of gallows
nightmare.
humor, yes.
You guys got to roll to keep company too.
All right.
Who's gonna? Let's see, Gabri. Do you have any bonds with?
Go for
Ictrude?
Gabri.
I do have a bond.
Okay, get +1.
9.
Okay. You can gain a bond with her, or she can gain a bond with you.
Ictrude, do you already have a bond with me?
I do.
So if we already have bonds with each other,
Yeah,
You
I
can
think we
have up
both
to
did.
3 bonds.
oh, you can get another bond.
Yeah.
I don't know, Rob. What do you think?
I'm trying to think of when we get into when do we use the bonds, right? It's when
You're helping the other person. So if you have Gabri, a bond with Gabri, you can mark a bond to add +1 to any. So normally when you help, you can always add +1 just by helping, but bonds let you add additional on top of that.
Let's say it's Gabri.
yeah, I think that
This has been
smarter.
this has been the crucible experience for him. So
Yeah. Okay. Great. So you got another 2. Great.
right. And Ictrude's usually on the front line and needs help.
Yes. Right.
Oh, that's good.
Tons of help. You guys between the inspire and the backup and all that, you're going to be maybe rolling at +4 all the way to the top.
Spare will be able to climb anything at this point.
No question. How are we holding up? You guys want to keep going? You want to call it a night?
I think I have to call it a night, guys. I have to go see what's going on.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't wanna
Peoples.
yeah.
remain
I
in
got
charge.
another glass of scotch in my future.
Outstanding.
Well,
Are we
let's-
going to end of session it?
Yeah, let's do a wrap up. If you are multi-classing, choose which of your classes to use for marking XP, except the new rule is you have to have done both things as a multi-classer, because multi-classing is kind of powerful. So Kevin, you haven't had much opportunity yet, but in the future, when you wrap up, you should keep in mind that Allard has to do something magic usury and something Fifi in order to get that class XP.
Oh, I got you.
It's a little
Yeah, that makes
tougher
sense.
to get XP when you're multi-classing. Doesn't
Yeah,
really
no.
apply right now. If you're a fighter, mark XP if you solved the problem with physical prowess. Ictrude carried those two innocent figures out of the and I think it took some physical prowess to lay a warm hand on Gabri. So Ictrude gets XP for that. Thieves mark XP if you solved the problem with stealth or trickery. Oh, Allard, if only you had solved the problem.
Well, yeah, I mean, we did test a hypothesis.
Right,
Unfortunately, it was, and negative publication bias is a real problem across the sciences. And it looks like it lands in RPGs too. So I'm cool with it. I'll just be bitter about it, which is very French.
Very, very to be bitter.
Yes.
I do think it's important that we know that silver doesn't hurt the Spectre.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that's
Okay.
incredibly
Okay.
important.
Yeah. Okay. I'm buying it. Solving the
Okay.
problem. The problem being, that's not really the problem. Is how
Well,
do you hurt it?
I
Yeah.
mean, the same thing happened with the skull.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
tried to solve the problem with the skull, and I got a negative result.
Yep. I'm feeling generous.
All right.
Yeah, both
Okay.
you guys get that. Just because those were both relevant to the challenge at hand. Cleric, mark XP if you acted according to your cause. Oh my god, every time.
He's easy to play.
Press spam with the turning of the undead. And Bard, you had a lovely, if painful, that was a poignant performance.
You
That was a good one.
poignant, yeah. So we'll take it.
I think there's room there to there's something about the Lord being in the basement and the vampire being in the tower. Like there's something weird going on there. Some way we can play them against each other.
Right, because it's an inversion of what you would expect, right?
Yeah.
And it symbolically maps onto the righteous king has been overthrown.
So I wonder if we can maybe a further song that starts to kind of poke away.
Draw him away.
Yeah. Or to set him against the vein.
Mm-hmm.
You know who I'm talking about?
Let them fight.
Cedavang, yeah.
Cedavang, he took your life. Cedavang, he took your wife. That really gets him.
And then we can use well, actually, it's not his wife's skull, but
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
could be symbolically.
could be.
But it is a big question for us because the tools that we have, I thought silver weapons would be probably our most credible threat to it. Dean Jasper burned the bones. We tried the silver. Certainly, the power of the lady can do, some turning stuff, but I don't think it's banishing. I don't think it's banishing that guy based on this. So I feel like we need some sort of symbolic oomph to kind of do. And lighting the dude's bones on fire, I thought was like ridiculously great, but didn't land in the way that I was.
Yeah.
I'm
The only
nervous.
thing that hurt him was the holy water getting
No.
splashed.
Oh, we better get more. Perrier.
Well, we can make more.
Can we?
Could you just bless it?
Pee in a
that how that
bucket, and you
works?
bless it. Yeah.
Well, it does at the Catholic Church. So it works.
All right, perhaps.
Alignment at the top of the order. Jaspar, chaos. No, turned and ran. Got a skull.
Turned and ran. Yeah.
Bob, you're neutral.
Yeah, and I will say, it was a conscious decision to stay in the room when everyone ran. Just trying to not do what everyone else did, balance them out.
Okay, good. Yep, you got XP for that. I mean, come on, you almost died.
You paid for it.
Honestly, I had visions of giving him a bowling ball.
That would have been chaotic, you mean? Yeah.
Wonderfully chaotic.
Rob, Ictrude did not
Good.
cost you anything, right? Was not at your own
No.
expense. Yeah. And then Crispin Allard.
I think Chris Bond definitely tried to stand and defend the fallen guys and put himself at significant risk. So I feel like that was probably legit for Chris Bond, if you agree.
Wait, was he good?
Lawful.
Oh, maintain order. Yes. Yes. Yep. Tried to
Like
maintain
these are
order.
the citizens of the village, and the Lord right now is not acting as lawful, right? This is an inversion of the usual.
That's first, definitely this. Yeah,
He's not acting as a liege lord and protecting his guys. He's eating them.
And Allard is chaotic.
Allard is chaotic. I don't know that he did it. I mean, stabbing a specter is crazy, but I don't think it's chaotic.
Yeah,
and I think his intent wasn't to cause chaos. He was actually both trying to hurt it and also, frankly, test a hypothesis.
Okay, great.
So
which leads us to, did you make an exciting discovery? I mean, I think between the skull and the silver, you figured out some more. Yeah, so everybody gets XP for that. Did you overcome a difficult obstacle? You did, even though the specter is still out there, you actually managed to survive and get away. So I would call that overcoming a difficult obstacle. Everybody gets XP. Did you acquire some memorable booty?
Their skull.
look at this skull.
Skull,
Look
you-
at this beautiful skull.
Yeah.
Look at this baby. Who's a sweetheart? But probably not. No, I think it's a stretch.
All night.
All right.
Yeah, we almost lost Gabri, though. I was legit petrified for him. I did have a
Me
request
too.
for the group, though. I think I want to add, I'd gotten rid of a trait for Crespin, and I want to add compassionate.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
fair.
Does that meet the sense of the group?
What are you dumping?
He had, what did he have? He had a liar, I think, which I'd gotten rid of a session or two ago. And I was trying to figure out like where he's coming from. And I think compassionate, because he's, was genuinely concerned about Jesper's fate, happy to lose the spear if it meant Jesper didn't die, trying to save these guys rather than shank them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Both our original guy whose name I apologize for forgetting, but then these other two guys, like that's super important for him. And I'm thinking, compassion is there for him in a way that it really wasn't before, and probably started off by seeing his fellow villagers die to the skeletons. It's been kind of an awakening for him.
Wow, I love this arc. Yeah, so what does that leave you with? What are your traits now?
Pious, compassionate, and enthusiastic.
That makes you good, not lawful.
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay.
Right, great.
Which is kind of, actually, that's actually very good news for Gabri and Allard and maybe Jasper, because as lawful, I cannot heal chaotic.
That's right. That's right.
But as good,
That's right.
I just can't heal evil.
That's right.
But I do feel like this whole setup with the Haunted Mansion and, the Legets and Le Grand Noir being an avatar of the lady and sort of trying to pose this is really moving Crispin much more to, that's not in the book of Ecclesiastes, more towards just like doing good stuff rather than being the, as it says in the book of Reaping, chapter 5.
Yeah. Great. Love
You know
it.
what I mean? So less of a doctrinaire and more of a,
A true saint. Maybe one day. We'll
Got to be
see.
dead to be a saint. I'm hoping, like what's his name, like Saint Augustine. Not, oh Lord, please make me pure. Just not today or not the next, like in a while.
All right, great, awesome.
All right,
Do
well,
I
thank
get
you
one
guys.
from being
Yeah.
boastful?
Yeah.
What's that?
We didn't do traits.
Oh, we didn't do traits. I'm so sorry. Yes, yes. Quick traits. Yes. Jaspar, you do get a point for being boastful. We just talked about Crespin, who demonstrated at least 2 of those that you just listed off. So Crespin gets XP. What are Allard's?
Curious is probably where he's going.
Dang,
He's
yeah.
lazy, stubborn, curious, and I feel like he's ending up as curious.
He's going
curious.
curious. Yeah. And Gabri?
Gregarious and snobbish. I don't know. them
Haven't
really
had
well.
that. Yeah. Not really outgoing to the specter.
No.
Gregarious and snobbish is an odd combination, right? Because I imagine the gregarious, it's only with those you deem worthy.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's like, yeah. I can totally see it. See it. Like, just like, making your way through the world and like,
Life of the party, but not you.
exactly.
Oh,
I know that person. Yeah.
No, that's lovely. I love it.
And Extrude?
Focused, cautious, and hopeful.
Capitalize on the job there. Great.
So that's a yes.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Thanks,
week.
everybody.
Thank you guys.
All right,
Awesome.
have a good
Be
night.
well.
Yeah.